Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I also do a bunch of other content. All these videos get posted on this subreddit. It's called DF Sports right here. You can find my posts. My username here is Shook. I make updates throughout the day with all the news that comes out. You can talk strategy here, ask me questions, stuff like that. I'll always reply to you. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, um, Twitter is Tori Langley 1992. So first, also if you're interested in Discord, where I have in-depth content going over each slate, player pools for cash and GPPs, cores for cash and GPPs, and a whole bunch of other stuff, private videos. Link to that'll be down below. But let's start off this video with some absolute nonsense that I just don't even know what to say. He called him Westbrick. I don't even know how to react to this video. It's just the most funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Look at this. You got this kid eating his steak. This guy stands up. They're getting into it. This kid's in disbelief. And then he calls him Westbrick. Oh my god. Alright, let's go over my lineups from tonight. Another great night. 5 out of 6 days cashing in the NBA playoffs. Also cashed in XFL. I also offer XFL content in my Discord, but I should have been an absolute millionaire tonight. I don't even know what happened with these Timberwolves. Just, I was not watching a real life basketball game with what happened with these Timberwolves. I was not. It was not real life. I thought I was going to ship every tournament I was in because I had low-owned KD, I had low-owned Torrey Craig, I had low-owned Zubac, I had low-owned Eric Gordon. All of them absolutely nuked, and I had Cat, Jamal Murray, NAW, and Conley left to go. I thought I was just going to destroy this slate. Beknownst to me, the Timberwolves just can't hit a shot. They just can't hit a shot, but the core that I had for today was NAW, he busted. Kevin Durant, absolute smash. Zubac, absolute smash. Can we talk about Xavier Tillman being 55% owned and Zubac only being 20%? That was an absolute nuke. Only 20% owned. He smashed, was a core player for me. And then Karl Anthony Towns was also core. He busted, unfortunately. And then you can see who I rounded out my lineup with. So, another phenomenal night. Let's get into this 2-game slate. So the pricing on this slate is soft. You're going to basically be able to play whoever you want to play on this slate. Pricing is down. You can basically do what you want. The value pricing is down too. We got some solid value plays, Royce O'Neal being one of them. So you're going to be able to pretty much do whatever you want. Now, if I had to pick a game that I would like to target on this slate that I think is better for fantasy, it would definitely be this Golden State game. But I still think pricing in this game is definitely intriguing. So Dinwiddie, Bridges, both got their prices decreased. I think both look pretty good here. I know the pace of this game is a lot slower, and it's a worse matchup than the last game, but they're just too cheap. Dinwiddie going to be the main ball handler on this team, does have double-double upside. We've seen absolutely massive games from him. If the game stays close, you're going to see upwards of 40 minutes. He was massive chalk this slate. And if everyone's going to fade because they burned him last slate, I'm going to go right back. I think he makes for a very good play at this price tag. I think Bridges is solid too at 7.7. I don't know why his price came down. Definitely a lower floor than Dinwiddie, but has just a tremendous ceiling when he's hitting his shots. So I like both of the Brooklyn Nets guys quite a bit. I think Claxton is okay. Like I said, I usually only like targeting bigs against Joel Embiid that like to go out to the perimeter, shoot three-point shots, stuff like that. So pretty tough spot for Claxton, but I still think he's a reasonable play. Um, Cam Johnson at 5'8" seems like a pretty safe play to me. I think we get low 30s minutes from him. He solid rebounder, good shooter. 5'8" does seem a little too cheap or just about right for him. So I think he's okay in the mid range. And then let's get to the value. So I think Royce O'Neal is one of the better value plays on the slate. I think we get close to 30 minutes from him. He's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. He'll have the ball in his hand some too. Can do a bit of everything. I think he stands out as one of the best value plays on the slate. So I really like Royce for value. I think he'll be popular. I think Dorian Finney-Smith. I think we get low 20s minutes, like 25-ish minutes from him. I think he's an okay value. I definitely do prefer Royce O'Neal, but Dorian Finney-Smith is perfectly fine too. You're going to see Joe Harris and Seth in the rotation, but I don't think we can go there. And then Day'Ron Sharpe will get the backup 5 and is playable. But once again, I'd much rather just get up to like a Royce O'Neal and these guys. Possibly like I'd rather play D'Anthony Melton over Day'Ron Sharpe, Royce O'Neal, some value in this game. So, but he's definitely in play. He'll get the backup 5. And then if anything happens to Claxton, with potential foul trouble, could get extended. Going on to the Sixers, so same thing here. You saw some price decreases. In this game, last game, I watched it. You saw the Brooklyn Nets just absolutely swarm Joel Embiid, and they let James Harden and the rest of the Sixers supporting cast just beat them that way, and it worked. So I don't know if they're going to be doing that again, where they just swarm him, double him, triple him. I don't think so. They're going to have to find another way to win. So if everyone's just going to fade Joel Embiid because they watched that game and saw how the Brooklyn Nets were going to defend him, I'm fine going right back there. He's just too cheap. I think he'll be pretty low owned on this slate, with Sabonis being very cheap, with Fox being cheap, with the Warriors guys being cheap. So I think Embiid's probably a really good tournament play on the slate. James Harden, I think, is definitely going to get ownership tomorrow. 9K is a reasonable tag for him. It's going to stuff the stat sheet, play huge minutes. He's going to run the offense a lot when Embiid's not out there with the way they run the rotation. So usage is going to be great. I think he looks like a solid play. Tyrese Maxey at 6'7". I don't have too much interest, but does have a ceiling when he's playing very, very well. I think he's fine. Tobias Harris seems like a pretty safe play to me. I think if the game stays close, we'll get mid-30s minutes from him. Definitely an outlier shooting game last game, so be a little bit careful there, but also another good rebounder. I think he's okay. Definitely a pretty safe play in the mid-range. And then the value. So PJ Tucker's price did come down to 4K. I mean, you couldn't pay me to play PJ Tucker, but if you really, really need someone as the last man at this price tag, I mean, I wouldn't absolutely hate you for it. Last game is definitely an outlier. I think I'd rather play D'Anthony Melton for $500 more, who I think we get around 20 minutes from him. And he'll be actually productive when he's on the court. So I think he's an okay value. I would rank Royce O'Neal ahead of him, though. Paul Reed will get the backup 5, but I don't think it'll be enough for me to go there. And I think we saw a bit of Niang, but I mean, if he's hitting his shots, he does have a ceiling. But once again, I don't think it'll be necessary to go there on this slate. All right, on to the Warriors. So more price decreases. So Steph, love his upside for GPPs. I mean, the pace of this game is just going to be absolutely phenomenal. So the ceiling here for Steph at 9.6K is just absolutely tremendous. So I think he makes for a great tournament play. I think Klay Thompson's a solid play at 6'9". Shot okay last game. Does have a low floor when he's not hitting shots, but also pace of this game, ceiling tremendous. So Klay, Steph both look very good. Draymond Green at 6K is just too cheap in my opinion. I think Draymond just thrives in these types of matchups when the pace of this game is just super, super high. Obviously, he's going to stuff the stat sheet. Good defender, can get those very much needed blocks and steals. I really like Draymond Green last game. I really like him here again. I think Wiggins, if he comes off the bench, I don't have much interest. If they change something and he starts, then we'll monitor it. Jordan Poole is questionable. If he's in, I'm probably not going to go there. If he's out, if he's in, I think Dante is still a solid value. I think we get around 20 minutes from him. He's kind of like a Royce O'Neal, right? He can kind of do a little bit of everything. Royce O'Neal will definitely play more. I do prefer Royce to Dante, but I still think Dante's a solid value. And then if Poole's out, I really like Dante for value if Poole's out. And then Kevon Looney played big minutes last game. If we're going to continue to get 32 minutes of Kevon Looney at 5-2, I think he really stands out to me. Gary Payton, nobody played him last slate. You guys knew I was pretty high on him. Played 20 minutes. Steve Kerr just likes to play GP2 in the playoffs, so I think we get similar run from him. I think he's an okay value, perfectly fine going there, and then that's going to round it out for the Warriors. Once again, you're going to notice some price decreases. So I absolutely love Sabonis and Fox in this spot. I think both look phenomenal to me. They're both just way too cheap, in my opinion. I know Sabonis struggled last game. Count that game out the window. 9-3 is just disrespect. 8-5 for Fox is just disrespect. I think both look phenomenal to me. You're going to hear the same thing I say about these wings like I do in every video. One of them's going to get benched. One of them's going to have a good game. One of them's going to have a mediocre game. You saw Keegan Murray with the basement game. You saw Kevin Huerter with the mediocre game. You saw Harrison Barnes smash. Harrison Barnes is definitely the safest of the bunch. Malik Monk, probably going to be one of the most popular value plays on the slate. His minutes are definitely not secure. There are times when he is struggling where they will bench him, kind of like they do with like Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter. So if he's going to be one of the most popular plays in the slate, I'm fine fading. It'll probably bury me like it did last slate, but he does have a ceiling when he's hitting his shots. I think he's perfectly fine for value, but just know the floor is very low and he could get benched. Like I said, I think Barnes is the safest. I think it's very unlikely that he gets benched. I think he's a pretty safe play. If no one is going to play Kevin Huerter tomorrow because he shot 3 of 12, I think he stands out as a tremendous tournament play after killing 80% of the field last slate. So I love Kevin Huerter here once again for tournaments. Keegan Murray, the riskiest. I think he is the most likely chance of getting benched. Probably going to be very low owned, so it makes him interesting for tournaments. And then Trey Lyles, I think we get around 15 minutes from him, a playable value. Like, would I rather play Day'Ron Sharpe, Paul Reed, or Trey Lyles? I think I'd rather play Trey Lyles over those guys. And then that'll do it for this slate. I hope you all had a great night tonight, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.